So welcome back to Outdoors with the Morgans. Before we get started today, I need to go over just a couple things, because what happens is I forget. You know, I do a video, and when I'm done editing that video, I realize I forgot to say a couple things that I wanted to say. So first off, if you want to, only if you want to, go to our website, outdoorswiththemorgans.com, and as soon as that website comes up, there will be a pop-up, a square box, to sign up for our newsletter. You can enter your email and hit submit, and you will be on our email list. And usually once a month, we send out a newsletter. And why is that important? Well, what we do is, you know, if we're gonna have fire starter available, that'll be included in the newsletter. Like today, we sent one out, and we have mugs available for Christmas. They're really nice ceramic mugs, and they're microwave safe, dishwasher safe, and I don't even know if there'll be any left by the time this video publishes tomorrow morning. So if you're interested in things like that, plus we have kind of behind the scenes stuff in the newsletter if you care about that. Some really good pictures of our newest grandson, Bo. He's doing really well. I'm telling you, Melissa and I were talking, our grandkids are all much better babies than our kids were. It's the truth. They are. Bo is, Hannah said he sleeps, you know, 3-4 hours at a clip, gets up a little bit hungry, gets something to eat, back to bed, and that's about it. None of our kids were like that at all, especially Hunter. That's a whole story for another day. But yeah, if you're interested, sign up for the newsletter, outdoorswiththemorgans.com. And later this week, we will have hoodies available, and then fire starter one more time before Christmas, and then probably first of the year we'll have more. I talked to Dean last night. He's gonna make some, yeah, probably middle of January, something like that, after this weekend. But anyway, what did I want to talk about today? I am in a rut. I am, and I gotta claw my way out of it. It happens every year at this time, and I think this year is worse than years past because we had such a nice fall. The weather was beautiful. It was dry. It was pretty warm. You could kind of do whatever you wanted and just get a bunch of things taken care of. And we went from that to rain pretty much every day or every other day. Everything's a muddy mess. And, you know, each day it seems to get darker and colder, more so than the day before. And I don't know if it's that seasonal affective disorder or what, but I'm attempting to claw my way back out of the rut because, I mean, I'm not depressed or anything like that. Maybe, I don't know. You'd have to ask Melissa about that. It's just, I can't understand how different you feel this time of year versus like spring, summer, and fall. Now, as you get a little bit closer to Christmas, and even January, middle of January, you can kind of tell, you know, another couple months it's going to be nice again. But this time of year right here, it takes a lot for me to get motivated. And I'm not normally like that at all. I'm always doing something. It's just harder to get going. And I figured the best way to do it is just to force myself to get out there, whether it's, you know, a sloppy mess or whatever, and get something done. Because once you get out here and you start working and you start doing some things, you get that sense of accomplishment and you feel better. But it affects everything and everybody, even our dogs. You know, Archie, as soon as the sun goes down, he's done. I mean, he's done. It doesn't matter if it's 9 o'clock at night in the summertime or 5 o'clock this time of year. Stick a fork in him. And he'll go and go all day long, but as soon as that sun's down, he's out. Now, Axel, still a bundle of energy. Piper, she just kind of has always been Piper. She doesn't change much. So what I'm going to do here now is cut and split a little bit of firewood. That always makes me feel better. Got a nice long cherry log right here. And then I need to go through this big mess right here. There's some good wood in there. Some cutoffs and things that are still good wood. But there's also a bunch of punky, rotten stuff. So I need to kind of separate that out. Maybe throw the good stuff over in that pile there. The bad stuff down into the burn pit. Need to take care of that. And then when we're done with this, we're going to take a hike out to the clearing in the woods there. And I'm going to kind of show you what the master plan is out there, at least for now. That's something else I like to do. When I get to feeling this way and it gets dark early every day, I like to kind of make plans and plan for better days. And I don't know, that kind of keeps me motivated, I guess. This winter, maybe even sooner than later, once it freezes, if it does freeze up in the next month or so, I am going to rent a bigger excavator just to get that knocked out there. We got big plans. We'll go over that in just a little bit. And then after that, I think we may go do a little hunting. I'm going to go for a walk, probably down the road past the brick house, and come in off the other road, maybe about 3 o'clock. And then we'll just kind of take our time, work our way up to the mini cab and see what we see. I haven't done that walk all year. It's not that far, maybe 1.5 miles or something from the house, down around, back up, maybe 2 miles. But you always see deer, and it's been dead the last couple days out hunting. Just nothing moving, no activity. I see less deer now. I'm telling you, like in archery season, every time I went out to the mini cabin, I would see at least 5 or 6 deer at a bare minimum. No matter when it was, morning, middle of the day, evening, 5 or 6 deer at a bare minimum. Now it's like dead. I was out there the other night, didn't see a thing for 3 hours until I was walking back to the house, and it was pitch dark, and I about walked into 2 deer, and I scared them and they scared me. I mean, they were just coming up out of the valley, and it was real wet. I was walking quiet, and I mean, we were probably less than 10 yards from one another when we kind of spooked each other. But anyway, we better get busy. right, got a little bit of wood split, some nice cherry there. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed, I think I mentioned this before. When I'm running that 4-way wedge, and I have, say, pieces that are like, you know, 13, 14 inches in diameter, what I do, I favor this side with it. So I don't center the round on this. I favor this side. Then I get 3 pieces that are the right size. Then I take this big chunk off of this side, run it back through again for 4 more. Works out really well. All right, I actually just looked up the symptoms for seasonal affective disorder. Mood could be anxiety, general discontent, loneliness, loss of interest, mood swings, or sadness. Nah, I don't really have that. Sleep, excess sleepiness, insomnia, or sleep deprivation. Nah, I don't think I got that either. Appetite changes or fatigue. No. Behavioral, irritability, or social isolation. Nah. Also common, depression, lack of concentration, or weight gain. Wintertime you always put on a few pounds. But the treatment, I don't know. I just don't like winter anymore. I think that's all it is. I don't like mud and rain. That's got to be what it is. How do you treat it? Take a long walk. I'm going to do that this afternoon. Eat lunch at a nearby park, or simply sit on a bench and soak up the sun. There is no sun. I would add to that treatment, run a 500i chainsaw. That just puts you in a good mood. That chain on there, I hit a rock with it, and I screwed it up pretty good, but I'm trying to bring it back. It's cutting, you know what I mean? It is cutting, but it definitely could be better, but there's some teeth that are pretty messed up, and I'm no expert by any means at hand filing, but it seems with each sharpening, I'm able to bring it back a little closer to being good. I don't know, but yeah, I think I cut through a log, got into these rocks down here. At some point, I need to build one of those cutting tables, like a nice big one, big heavy duty cutting table out of like white oak, you know, with slots in it, and I could just set logs on there with the excavator and whack them up. Currently, I hold everything off the ground with the excavator, but for the end pieces, you drop a bunch on the ground, you cut them up, and then, you know, you roll them, but sometimes you can ding them, but whatever. But anyway, right now, I'm going to head up to the house. We're going to get another battery for this camera, and we're going to go for a little hike out in the woods, and I'll show you what the master plan is out there. All right. Let's take a little hike out in the woods here. So the road going back to the clearing, it's straight ahead, but it is a muddy, muddy mess. I still have the topsoil on it. So we're going to go back. We're going to walk up over this way. Stay out of the mud. All right, we're out here at the clearing in the woods. You can see where this water's laying. That's where some big stumps were. It's settled a little bit, but I'll take care of all that in the spring. But what I'd like to do out here, it's going to be in different phases. This winter, I want to clear about another 100 feet that direction, over towards the mini cabin that direction. I'm looking for like a big rectangle basically in here. And then over here, and I got a big pile of logs back here. There's a lot of wood on the ground back here, but you can't get it now. It's just too sloppy to get back here. Needs to freeze. Yeah, a lot of oak, cherry, maple in that pile. But there's the road going back to the house. So right over in here, we're going to go about another 75 feet that way. Leave the nice oak trees down along the edge there. And then somewhere right in here, I'd like to build a deluxe mini cabin. I may even use that one as part of the addition on this one. I'd like something that's nice, insulated, good windows, good doors, maybe even a tiny little wood stove in there. If we put it over in there and up high enough, you could see down in these big valleys behind you, this whole field, and a straight shot down the road. Now you may be saying to yourself, that's a whole lot of work just for hunting, which it is, but there's more to it than that. If you've been following along for a while, you know I enjoy hunting, but I really don't care if I get anything. I really don't. I just like being out here. Levi and I were talking. I'd like to buy a good camera, like a real good camcorder for long distances. And I think I would enjoy just filming deer and other wildlife as much as I do hunting them. And I thought, man, it would be nice to be out here in the winter, have a place you could sit and just check out everything that's going on out here. I think that would be awesome. We still haven't decided what exactly we're going to plant here in the spring. I'm looking into that, but whatever it is, it's going to have to come up quick and get thick to prevent the Japanese stilt grass from taking over. And also, Levi has a bunch of little chestnut trees, Chinese chestnut, that he's been growing. Plant some of them and some fruit trees out here as well. Be a really, really nice spot. So that is phase one for the clearing in the woods. Right now I'm going to head back to the house, get my stuff, get my orange on, and my buddy Tim will be out here in a little bit. I'm going to tell him to go over to the mini cabin, and then I'm going to hike around the road down to the bottom, and then I'll just take my time walking up through here, see if I see anything, maybe push something to him. We'll see. At least it's not raining. All right, we're heading down the road. We're gonna go down here to an intersection, another quarter mile or so. We turn right, and then we pop right up onto Maple Grove. All right, so I'm just walking into Maple Grove here. You see where that car is over there, that white one coming? I was just walking out of that intersection, and over behind that house, there were 8 deer, including 1 buck. They ran on the other side of that pond. That car doesn't know what I'm doing. And then they crossed right up here into Maple Grove. Couldn't ask for anything better than that. They crossed the road about 75 yards down that way. So I'm just gonna walk up here along this edge. My buddy Tim is up in the mini cabin right now, which is about a half mile that direction. There's some tails out there ahead of me, about 150 yards. They're right down in these pines. They're headed up that way. Yeah, so those deer, they crossed right in here somewhere. I don't know if they came up here on our place or down towards the neighbors, but they're headed the right direction.